Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Dr.Lamba's Awakening Call. We have often seen a very curious but very unsettling phenomena. I could understand that phenomena in the hoary past when the people were ignorant, when the people were highly prejudiced. But in these days, when we talk and profess that all are equal, then this phenomena represents a very sorry picture of the humankind, and especially so when it's a representation of majoritarianism, when the people in minority or people belonging to the decent civilized sections of society are made victims by bullies, and when hordes of ignorant but highly excited people descend on unwary people. They might descend in reality on a street, surround one person and shout at him, kick him, insult him, degrade him. Or they do it virtually by trolling a person on the net. Both are horrible. And then the situation becomes worse when the forces of law and order are not moving properly, either because of the political reasons or because of their usual elephantine manner. And secondly, if they move quickly, as has happened in US, then they are penalized by the authorities, and then the aggressor becomes the oppressed. That's the presentation. The whole thing is presented in a different manner. And this bullying, not of one person, not of one section of society, but a large number of people by either the ignorant people or the motivated people, or, as I said earlier, politicalized trolling is a cause of worry. And as I said, it has happened in USA, it has happened in Pakistan, it's happening in India, in fact, in most of the countries. And the most recent examples we have seen in USA and in Canada of Black Lives Matter. We have seen it in toppling of the statues and change of the names of the streets and the roads of the cities. We have seen it in the process of defunding the police because the police was acting according to the need of the time. And recently we saw it in India when a fake online auction claimed to sell some 80 women. And these women were terrorized, their pictures were posted online, derogatory terms were used by them. Agreed that the police has registered FIR, but till now, and almost 2 weeks have passed, not a single charge has been filed, not a single perpetrator of this horrible, despicable act has been traced, and not a single online troll has been either arrested or his or her account suspended. And who are the victims? They're the pilots, journalists, researchers. But they have one thing in common. They're all Muslim women. As a matter of fact, in South Asia, particularly in Afghanistan, along with Pakistan, India, women face much more abuse, especially online abuse. And I would say, though I have specified South Asia and Afghanistan, it's happening all globally. Misogyny comes with it in a toxic mix, especially when it takes the form of communalism. and make cyberspace a more dangerous place for women. We have seen men, human beings, and the males being lynched, and women are now being sold online. When will this end? These 80 women discovered to their surprise that they had been put on sale on a hosting platform called GitHub, GITHUB. As I said, they were highly educated and prominent women. I know some of them personally. They were commercial pilots, research analysts, journalists, and it was called the shit deal of the day. And they were trolled. Under the photos of many women was their personal information and statement that the women could be purchased. People were bidding for women, offering large sums of money. And when the women found out that the pictures had already been up for about 20 days, with their information available to anyone who logged on, and as when one woman put it doesn't matter how strong they are, but if your photo and your personal information is made public, it scares you. It bothers you. You're going on a road and somebody says, hey, look at this girl going, she's available for so much of money. And when these women, they came to know of this online auction, the news started spreading like a light fire. Then the people started talking about it. Responsible people, highly placed bureaucrats, some judges even, and the GitHub finally took the platform down. But then by that time, the women's information had been publicly available to the trolls, who started harassing them online and offline. Some women filed FIR and Delhi police registered the FIR, but after registering the FIR, they became dumb. And then, the shocking thing was, as they say, the biggest enemy of women are women themselves. Some women, and I read one, some Ajit Bharti, she tweeted there was nothing wrong with what GitHub had done. It was making good deal available to the masses. Now, when Ajit made this, as a matter of fact, the person should have been arrested right away. How would he feel? Or she feel, I don't know whether it's a male or female. Ajit can be both. If his or her women folk were to be auctioned without knowledge, and the people who did it are not sorry, but they are craving us about it, feeling happy about it, and they're not scared because they know nothing would happen to them. A spokesman of the GitHub very clearly said that the unknown trails to post this auction of the women and the company was against discrimination. They say, imagine, we are not even aware that this has been posted. Can any organization which puts up and not be aware of what's being done? Then that organization doesn't need to exist, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, this is highly toxic definition of masculinity, toxic masculinity. Some people are also saying it's a communal masculinity, quite possible, but then masculinity by itself is bad. Accept discrimination and a vengeance against the reality of the fact that the Muslims had ruled India for 800 years. But does that mean that the present generation is responsible for that? You cannot judge the past by the present. That way, nobody would be safe. The sins of the parents cannot be visited on the children. And The vengeance against the imagined past and the real past, whatever it may be, appears to be the mind of many Hindu trolls, and they are lurking online. We have seen the movie directors being threatened for depiction of Muslims, of harassing Muslim women prove are the highly toxic. I have seen in Bombay, in the Hindu housing societies, the Muslims would not get houses on rent and an not for city. I had an employee who was Muslim, Arishur Rahman, and he couldn't get a house until I had to intercede for him. The highly toxic definition of masculinity and Hindu masculinity is now under construction. And this new Hindu masculinity is real and imagined domination over Muslim and Muslim women. And the thing is central to being a strong man, a Hindu man, a powerful man. Nothing can be further from truth. The goons, actually these trolls and these bullies are nothing but goons. And I'm sure they do not represent BJP. BJP by itself is not bad. But then every party has some moron, some lunatic fringe. And this Hindutva troll army makes it daily business to pursue and intimidate everyone who is not in the Hindutva umbrella. It can be women, Muslim women, it can be lower caste women, and we have seen the way Advasis have been raped, the tribals have been exploited. So it's not only communal, it's sectarian as well. And this troll army doesn't limit itself to harassing these Muslim women inside India. The delicate pride of these Hindu trolls is wounded. Anytime any Muslim woman indulges any critique of India, or Modi, or BJP, and they resent the press in other countries say about it. And I also object when the West criticizes, but then why provide fodder for those news? You provide 1% and the journalists parasitic and vicarious pleasure they take in depicting the negative aspect, they'll extend it 99%. So total will be 100%. But that 1%, 99% would be read by more than the reality of the 1%. And that's a tragedy. The fact that the goons and the bullies are having an unlimited reach is something abhorrent. I've seen people know that Hindu women have been abused in Pakistan. They have been raped. They have been converted forcibly. But do two wrongs make one right? And I said earlier, this phenomena, what's happening in India, is happening in Pakistan with vengeance. Maybe what's happening in India is a revenge for what's happening in Pakistan. While it's a cultural issue, the black and white issue in USA, it is Hindu-Muslim version in India, and its Muslim non-Muslim version in Pakistan. There's no doubt that the similar flavors of masculinity exist in Pakistan and everywhere else. Wherever misogyny is there, wherever toxic masculinity is there, you would find this sort of bullying, infamous armies striding by. This is exactly what happened in Hitler's time when the Nazi goons would terrify Jews. This is exactly what happened in Mussolini's fascism when fascists would terrify anybody not agreeing with them. And in all parts of the world, it's happening. But does that justify what's happening in India? No, it doesn't. It goes against the culture of India. The Indian culture basically is embraced. It's inclusive. It's not divisive. So why are we being divisive now? And women have been venerated. No yajna could be complete without the wife being present. Though the hypocrisy was there. That is, the wife is not present, build a golden statue and place it at the time of Havan. Sikhs, of course, treat them as par, if not better. And as a matter of fact, they're better. I am all for masculinity, but not for toxic masculinity. I am for the masculinity that is considerate, that has masculine powers, but at the same time, that is also not exploitative. These varied forms of misogyny and masculinity do no credit to India because this India we are seeing, where women are auctioned online, is not the real India. It is evident by degrading the hateful abuses hurled at these women. We are in fact showing that we are petty, we are stupid, and we are toxic. We are eager to inflict increasing punishment on those whom we perceive to be powerless and unable to count on the state for protection. It's a treacherous moment for all the people who do not agree with Hindutva philosophy. And that's a very small group, let me tell you. Hindus are not like that. They are an excellent nation. If you look at India, for example, in Canada, there are 65% Catholics. And if you go to jail and take up anything, you would find almost 50% of the criminals are Catholics. Sikhs are 1%, and the criminals in jails are 1% Sikhs. Muslims are 1.5%, and the criminals in jails are 1.5%. Hindus are 1%, and criminals in jail are 0%. So they are much more law abiding. And this information was given to me by Prime Minister Harper when he was there. They had done the study, and they found that almost all the groups have equitable relationship with crime and the population, except the Hindus. So Hindus by and large are not that bad. But this fringe group of lunatic, moronic, misogynist, obnoxious people is trying to, in fact, test the ineptitude of the law and order machinery. Unemployment, inflation, and economic crisis is looming in India. Let's not forget it. All these circumstances put together are inflicting a great deal of misery on millions of people. Even today, 40 crore people have possibility of getting infected by coronavirus. And a healthy nation would have collective moral resources to handle this trying moment. Sadly, India has shown that despite its progress, it's not a healthy nation as far as the culture is concerned. The country's army of software engineers and technical workers are humiliated by the circumstances and they turned, no doubt, in search of quick power trip that bolsters their ego. Setting up online auction for the women, whose pictures and information they have pulled from the web, provides the instant gratification, and the bullies have the power of rush, the adrenaline of power rushing through their brains, and they feel they are great. As a matter of fact, they are nasty, brutal, and the government of India should take it very seriously. The India that exists at this moment is brimming with such entities, trolling, harassing, abusing, and together they constitute the most misogynist India that India has ever seen, and which is not India. So these infamous armies of bullies, which go on bullying the innocent people, whether in India or in Pakistan, in USA, or luckily not in Canada, but in Germany, in France, in England, whether they are of A group or B group or C group, whether they are because of the religion or because of the color of skin, is an abhorrent concept. And the sooner we bury it, the better it would be for the humanity at large. Shall we do it? Well, depends on you, because each one of you is responsible. Each one of you contributes to this degradation of the moral fiber of the society. Thank you.